This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to thank and acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, LightBlindedFool, Green Man, Deyvis Ferreira, Margaret, Big C, Bennett Williamson, Dylan C, Hannah Green, Noralia, Jordan Gower, and Geof Searles. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank a few people for renewing their pledge annually on Patreon. And this is a really special one because all three of these people are renewing their pledge for the second year in a row. So thank you so much to Tara Pokorny, Alina Zizkin, and Mimi. We really appreciate your continued support and generosity. It means the world to us. We also want to thank and welcome Ryan Wilson and Fee-Fi Fiona to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. Thank you so much for your support. We really, truly appreciate it. In this episode, we are talking about Chapter 31 of Knife of Dreams.
Yeah, Chapter 31 is The House on Full Moon Street. Now, I'm pretty sure when you saw that title, you were like, no way, this is going to be a bad chapter. Because I know how you feel about, like, full moons.
How do I feel about full moons? I'm going to charge my crystals in them?
Maybe, yeah. Like, you know.
I like a full moon.
This is probably going to go well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the house on Full Moon Street I already knew as the Dark Friend house.
Yeah, maybe.
Did we know that already?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't know if Full Moon Street ever came up before.
Oh. Well, the chapter symbol is the sort of Dark Friend chapter symbol.
Yeah.
And so maybe my brain made a connection.
Maybe. Like,
right
we've had
the
chapter
bat.
Symbols that had, like, a full moon.
I just felt like when I started reading the chapter, I was like, oh,
yes. Yeah.
That's that Lady Cheyenne house.
I could be wrong.
I don't think you are.
It's new to me, though, so
and
I don't know.
I've also potentially made a connection post-reading.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Because you read it more than once, and you're like, yes, I know this.
Yeah. I did read it more than once. So.
Okay. Well, I'm going to jump into my fun fact because there's no way I can read The House on Full Moon Street and not do a fun fact about a bunch of witches.
Oh.
So it's Witch Facts 4.0.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. We've done Witch Facts a few times, and I got to do it one more time here.
Okay.
I think last time I might have said it's the last time, but, like, it's not.
You can't make definitive statements like that around
that's true.
here.
It's dangerous.
You have so many fun facts that are still yet to come.
Okay. So here we go. Magic is often associated with the moon in a lot of different cultures and beliefs, and a lot of things rely on rituals at the time of different phases of the moon, but historically, the full moon is the most popular. So that's when the moon appears fully illuminated because the earth is between the sun and the moon, specifically. Mm-hmm. There are some rituals that, to a lesser extent, happen on new moons. That's when you basically can't see it at all. Yeah, but the full moon, that's the one that's the most powerful.
That is the one, and that's the one that causes all the kids to be crazy.
You know what? I did a little research into that, too.
It affects their energy.
You always say that. It's
because it does.
Okay, we'll get to it. So, apparently, witches in Greek and Roman literature were regularly accused of doing something called drawing down the moon by using, like, magic spells to demonstrate their powers and perform love spells. And my favorite is to extract that magical moon juice.
Love it. Okay.
Okay. I have no context for that, but that's what the internet said.
Sure.
All right. But the moon is also usually, but not always, associated with women. So, like, there's a lot of moon goddesses.
Well, you know, the cycle.
Literally that.
Cycle, yeah.
A lot of cultures implicitly link the 29.5-day lunar cycle with women's menstrual cycles.
Cool, yeah.
Makes sense. Matches up, basically, so it's got to be.
Basically
the same thing, yeah. But there is no evidence that the moon influences people's behavior, crime rates, childbirth, fertility, hair growth, or changing people into werewolves. So.
Oh, the werewolf thing, I understand. The energy
Not
thing.
definitive.
You know what? Sometimes it's not about science.
Okay, but I did a little bit more research too.
It's mostly always about science, except for when it's about magic.
In this case, it's
about magic.
It's about magic,
except,
yeah.
Tell me how the moon influences the tides.
Okay, boom, here we go.
Tell me that.
The ancient Roman goddess Luna was the goddess of the moon, and we already know that the Greek counterpart was Selene, That's why Lanfear is Selene and the moon
Daughter
and all
of
that
the
stuff.
night, yeah.
Exactly. But Luna was in charge of the moon's movements, including the effects on Earth. Therefore, Luna was responsible for the tides of the sea, and Aristotle considered the human brain to be the moistest organ and particularly susceptible to Luna's pull. And that led to the belief, or helped lead to the belief, that the moon brought out the worst in people. And that's where you get words like lunatic. Oh, it all connects.
I like that.
Okay.
That is fun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, there's a bunch of witches congregating in a evil house on Full Moon Street tonight. So too bad we didn't do this one on Halloween.
No kidding.
Right?
We're not that far away.
No, we're not. But you know.
All right. So let's dive in because I have a lot of questions about who's that? Who's this?
Who's this? Who's that? Is
And
that a part? Yeah.
I started reading this without my notebook present, and I was like, "Ooh, wrong choice."
Which is
wrong
also
choice today.
Here's the thing, though, because you were just looking at your notebook.
Okay, but for the other people too.
Turns out your notes kind of suck because you're like, wait, I got all this stuff
and
wrong.
that's on the page that has a sticker.
Yeah, I don't know how we missed it, but you did get some information wrong.
I know, but there are some people like these first two people we're going to get introduced to.
Sure.
That I'm like, oh wait, who's that?
Who's this? Who's that? Okay.
Yeah, I think because we've heard about Sumiko so much.
Yeah.
As a healer and whatever, I thought she was an Aes Sedai.
Right.
And so I
She's
did not understand the context of what was happening here.
And it doesn't help that there's also Aes Sedai in this
chapter. And then I was like, have we met Duhara before? Like, I would need to be able to look it up to see.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have no idea. So also, who's Hark? Like, there's lots of questions here.
Okay.
I mean, it came out.
Yeah.
That one I sussed out myself.
Good. That was a big shenanigan because that's the whole thing I got wrong. I got the name wrong.
Hark?
No. Samuel. His name's Samuel.
Oh.
We're not going to say
Samwise.
it. Ah, you said it.
Yeah.
Oh, of course you did. Okay.
It's okay.
Anyways.
It's just a correction.
Sure.
Yeah, not an actual reference.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So let's get it. We know who Elaine is, right?
Okay.
Like you're familiar?
We know who Elaine is.
Okay.
And the last time we were with Elaine,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we were meeting Hark. Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. So
Sort of?
that's what happened at the beginning of this book, and that's partially why you were complaining, is because we got like 5 Elaine chapters in a row, and that's where we got the summary where Elaine is doing her campaign against Arimella, dealing with all the pregnancy stuff. The hallways are changing. Avienda left, but before she left, she gave her that cool dagger triangle.
Ooh.
Right, so that happened, and then Elaine was meeting with mercenaries, and then Mellar was being followed by Samuel Hark because they were like, oh man, we've sent like 5 guys after Mellar and they keep getting murdered. What's happening? And then they've hired Samuel Hark, and then Elaine met with all the nobles, and then Brigida's losing her memories, and then Rihanna got murdered, right, the kinswoman, and then Arimella was like all about that victory. So that's kind of where we left off with murders, and people are being murdered. Rihanna of the kinswomen got murdered. She was like one of the really important ones.
And other kinswomen too.
And other,
right?
and yes, and all the runaways, in quotations, the runaways were probably not runaways. They were also probably murdered. So
okay,
that's kind of what's happening here. And Rihanna was the former eldest of the kin,
right?
Which is why the Sumiko thing is important. That happens in the first chapter here, in the first page.
Got it. Okay, so now Elaine is in the middle of trying to convince Sumiko and Alice or Elise.
Yeah.
That they need to make everyone start traveling in 3s and 4s for safety because things are getting worse with the murders.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the heck's going on?
Right. People are getting murdered. So Sumiko is the new eldest, but that's what this argument's about too, because Elise is the one who is in charge of the farm.
Yeah.
The farm is outside of Abu Dar, and then inside Abu Dar, you have the knitting circle, and the eldest is in charge of the knitting circle, and that's what this conversation is about.
It's like knitting circle doesn't exist anymore.
We're not in Abu Dar, so it doesn't count.
Okay, but my prediction is I bet these murders will stop now.
Oh, that's a pretty good prediction. Well, maybe, because...
No, because I have in my notes, if they're correct, that Cariana hates Wilders.
Yeah.
And so, why were all these women getting murdered around here?
I think we figured it out.
Cariana.
Good job, everyone. We did it. We finally solved the puzzle.
Because someone literally told me what the answer was.
Right,
At the end of it, right. Okay. Now, these two are arguing for a bit because people don't want to travel together, and Elaine's like, that doesn't matter, so it's a whole thing.
Yeah. It's just like a little bit of headbutting that doesn't really go anywhere.
All this really does, honestly, is catch us, the reader, up to speed on what's going on.
Right.
In a relatively confusing way.
A little bit.
Because I kind of forgot that the kinswomen were even being murdered. So RJ's like, remember this is happening?
Well, I mean, normally that was like literally like 10 chapters ago.
Yeah.
But for you, it's been months.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so long.
Oh, man.
So long ago.
Yeah. But wait, there's more.
Right, because it's past Elaine's bedtime.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want to drink gross goat's milk anymore. And then she starts thinking about how she hates Rand for getting her into this predicament that she needs to drink gross goat's milk all the time.
If you forgot that.
And then we get a little bit of an update on Rand.
Yeah.
So Elaine felt Rand get a serious injury.
Right.
And then be completely fine after.
Yeah, he's totally good now.
And now he's hopping around the world.
Exactly. And she's a little bit worried, like, oh, is he running away? Is he being chased? I don't know.
Yeah, who hurt him so badly?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was a Forsaken.
It was. Yeah, she is right.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. Well, that's good. Elaine does officially have that midwife as well.
Mm-hmm.
Melfane.
Okay.
And Melfane sounds like Elaine a little bit too close.
Oh, does it? I didn't pick that up.
Melfane? Elaine?
They're not spelled the same.
No, you know. Okay.
But now, finally, Elaine gets Sumiko and Elise to agree on some things here, even though we're all a little bit on edge. And this is where we find out the specific numbers, that 3 women have been murdered in the last 10 days, and likely 7 more before that, too.
Right.
So, amping up.
Yes, for sure.
Now, we are going to get interrupted by one of Elaine's bodyguards who come in to warn her that a red sister is here to see her.
Yeah.
And Elaine is like, well, I know there's been lots of reports of Aes Sedai in and out of the city, but why would a red be coming to see me right now? They know that I'm against Elida.
Yeah.
Like,
Doesn't make any
I'm not
sense.
looking forward to this meeting. Tell them, no, I'm tired. But then they just push in anyway.
Yeah.
Without being invited in.
It's Duhara.
Uh-huh. Now, do I know Duhara?
I mean, yeah, technically, we do know Duhara.
From the White Tower?
Yeah. Okay, so quick summary. She was
I don't
actually...
know if I've ever written her name down before. Is this someone I know?
Well, I mean, no. Okay, she hasn't played a huge role, but there's also some pretty important information that is relevant that if you remembered everything you ever read...
I do have Duhara's name down.
Okay.
She is a sitter.
Yeah, for the red.
The red.
Yes. So in the prologue of this book...
And Duhara took off, which is suspicious.
Right, okay, so more context for what actually happened.
And whose perspective was that in?
Okay, I'm going
to
tell you.
Are you going to tell me?
That's literally what I'm going to tell you. So we were in Pavara's perspective at the beginning, right, who's also the red in the tower, and she got information that as far as she was aware that Galena died at Dumai's Welch, which we don't know is not true. So Sutama was raised to the head of the Red Aja, and then the third red sitter, Duhara, isn't there because a week ago at that point, she took a ship and left Tarvalin without telling anyone as far as Pavara knew. So you were like, ooh, suspicious. But now she's showing up here.
Yeah.
So
which, I mean, kind of, it still was suspicious.
Yeah. There's also some other interesting information that we know from New Spring. That Duhara was the...
New Spring information.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Alert, New Spring information.
I mean, it's not
that.
Go
ahead.
Okay.
I know, I'm just...
So, Duhara was the keeper of the Chronicles to Sierin Vayu, who was the Amerlin right after Tamra, who was the Amerlin when Rand was born, right, that Moraine and Swan met with. So, she was the Amerlin immediately after. So, Duhara was her keeper.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then we also have found out, not in New Spring, but this is relevant because Chesmol, who shows up later in this chapter, who's Black Aja, Chesmol bragged at one point about helping to put Tamra, the Amerlin at the time, put her to the question before she was murdered, and then Sierin Vayu is the new Amerlin with Duhara as the keeper, and Chesmol said that she also helped get the Red Aja to murder Sierin before she could basically arrest Chesmol, and we had Alviarin in a perspective, wondering if Elida had anything to do with that murder of Sierin, who Duhara was actually keeper to, because the Black Aja didn't directly murder Sierin. Indirectly, sure, because Chesmol helped along, but not directly.
Okay.
So anyways, Duhara has been around the block.
I only processed about a quarter of all those things you just said, but
okay.
Cool information.
Yeah.
So Duhara knows her stuff.
Yeah, and also,
she thinks she does.
She's
sure.
red, she's an asshole, and...
Well, for sure, but like what Aes Sedai isn't?
True, that's fair. She's more so.
I
She's
know.
more so.
Mm-hmm.
She's good at like coming in. She does the seagull thing where you swoop in, you shit on everything, and then you leave.
And then like rummage through the garbage.
Yeah,
Make a mess in the
exactly.
garbage. Steal a few French fries.
Right,
Take
and you're
off.
like, I hate you. Get out of here.
Hey, that's my sandwich. That's not your sandwich. All right. Okay. So now Duhara certainly has some opinions on everything
Right.
around here.
It's like, how do you come in and defend everything in like
And
one sentence
every
each?
single person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she comes in, gross, Wilders, get out.
Yeah.
And Elaine's like, no, they're not leaving.
Yeah, I do like how Sumiko and Elise, like in the past, because they're kinswomen, they would have like prostrated themselves on the floor in front of an Aes Sedai, but now they don't even get up from their chairs.
Yeah.
But good for them. Good for Nynaeve for giving them backbones.
You know what? Okay. We'll
Give
take
it,
that one.
Give it to Nynaeve. There you go.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, also, good for Elaine here.
Right.
I'm going to give her some props because I don't give her a lot of credit sometimes.
Sure. Okay.
And I mean, there is not a lot of credit to be given later in this chapter.
Sure. Fair.
So I will give her credit here where it's due. And I think she handles herself extremely well in this situation.
Okay. Like she doesn't back down.
She does not back down, and she speaks very eloquently, and she's very regal, and I appreciate that.
They're not getting out. You get out.
Yeah. Well, essentially, but the way she says it.
Yeah, she does. She does
I
say
actually
that.
really appreciate how she's quick, she's witty, she like gets it
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I appreciate that.
Yeah, there's also like a little bit of like, we got to remember what has happened
She
so
also
far.
doesn't just say everything she's thinking.
That's true.
She holds on to some stuff. Like, I think she actually does a good job in this interaction.
Yeah, she does point out the fact that Elida tried to have her kidnapped, which is the reference to Rhonda McGuire, like the original Forkard situation.
Yep.
Which at this point, it is a little obscure, and if you didn't remember, like you might not remember that's what she's referring to.
Oh, no, I knew that.
Okay.
Especially because they're like, the lady was flogged.
Right,
Right.
but like after.
Yeah.
After.
It was
And
like
also,
2 sentences later.
I mean, Elaine, she's been kidnapped at least a few times.
Since then? Has
Ever.
she?
Like, I mean, it's more than once.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, but Elida did try to have her kidnapped. There was like a whole thing out for bring Elaine back to me.
Yeah.
Right?
And you could say kidnap, but it's also like, we just want you returned to the tower safely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was for her own safety.
Okay, well, Duhara is just shocked that she is receiving such a terrible welcome,
Yeah.
especially after her long journey here, which would be as torturous to explain as it was to endure, which
Yeah.
I love that. I want to tell people, like, if I have a bad, like, morning in traffic,
Yeah.
I want to start telling people that my journey would be as torturous to explain as it was to endure. That's just so good.
You know, nothing's stopping you from...
I'm good at, I think I'm going to. I think people are going to really enjoy that at
and
work.
they won't process. I feel like they won't process it. They'll be like, what? What are you talking about? Because no one talks like you're in the 17th century. Like, what?
Oh, man. That just really did it for me. I was like, okay, you had a bad journey. You don't want to talk about it.
And I bet it wasn't that
Oh,
bad.
I'm sure it was literally
she
nothing.
took a boat down here.
Yeah.
It's like Tar Valon to Camelin is probably one of the most traveled roads.
Hey,
and
maybe she doesn't like boats.
man, you know what? True. Fair point.
Maybe someone was rude to her.
Maybe.
Did you even think about that?
I didn't consider
You
her
didn't
in this.
even consider
Right.
that she had a bad journey.
Anyways, so let's get to the the update on Rhonda, because it gives context.
Okay, so Duhara says, listen, don't worry. The woman who drugged you was punished. She was flogged in front of her own shop with everyone in her village watching. So everything's fine now.
We should be cool, but this is really
Yeah.
funny too. So keep in mind, the main and or only reason the Shanshan know what Forkard is because literally Rhonda McGuire went out of her way to find the Shanshan and tell him all about it.
I know that.
But and she specifically had a big gripe against the Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
And now it's probably directly because the Aes Sedai, she got flogged in front of all of her friends and whatever in the town.
Mm-hmm.
So
and Elaine thinks to herself, she knows that Rhonda was flogged because of her failure.
Yes.
Not because of her attempting to kidnap Elaine.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, there wouldn't be an issue if she had got them to the tower. That would have been fantastic.
Although, we do have to see how this whole, like, karma wheel is turning.
Right, because
okay, let's look at the trickle down of
Are you
going
to talk about Perrin and the...
I am.
Yeah, you are. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then what about now the Shanshan have like a couple hundred new Damani?
Fuck.
That's bad, right?
It's horrible.
Let's just sacrifice.
But
Take the
Perrin
wolves'
has
advice.
his wife.
Find a new wife, man. The wolves are right about this.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe you could just find a new one.
Or she would have escaped herself. She was on her way to escaping herself.
Yeah, that's your opinion. But that's not my opinion.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So now Elaine doesn't respond to that, and then Duhara starts going on this rant about how Elaine needs the tower to take the Lion Throne because she sucks.
Yeah, you don't even
terrible.
know. You don't even know.
You have people who are against you, who are sitting on the sideline, and it's because they are unsure of the White Tower support for you.
Exactly. Don't you know?
Why.
Yeah.
That's why Arimilla is fighting against you, and some of the houses are just like sitting aside and watching.
Right.
Purely because
but if they see
of the White
me,
Tower. But if they see me supporting you,
we got it. We got the throne in like a week, maybe 1 to 2 months.
Yeah, so that is why, drum roll please,
right.
Elida has sent me to be your new advisor to the queen.
Amazing. Hooray. I love Elaine's response of just laughing. Like she can't
even help it. And that's so funny because that's my reaction too.
Oh, I know. It's like, really? Like, really?
She's like, what?
But it's like, it can't be. Like, you can't be serious.
I've obviously aligned myself with Egwene, who is besieging Tarvalon.
Right.
At this very moment.
Yeah.
Like,
I would like to say she's doing a good job, but from an outside perspective, she's currently captured, so.
Well, does Elaine know that? Do you think they've had their Starbucks dream meetings?
We don't know that. I don't think we know if she knows about the situation. I don't think we've actually seen that.
Okay, because in the prologue, Egwene was captured.
Yeah.
And we saw Egwene 10 days later, or 9 days later.
Yeah.
And in the prologue, Duhara had left. In Pavara's perspective.
I feel like so Duhara...
I don't know if Duhara would know that Egwene is captured.
I was going to say that too. If Duhara knew, I feel like she would have said it. That's totally another, you're going to put a pin in that. Like, I'm going to poke you with that information. If Duhara knew.
Well, just timeline-wise, I'm trusting what you told me, so...
Sure, yeah.
That's what makes sense here.
Anyways, let's go with no. For all intents and purposes, doesn't matter.
Fine, okay, so... Elaine is laughing, and Duhara's like, you don't even know. You don't even know how much you need me. And Elaine says, still no. And then Duhara says, okay, well, once you're queen, you're going to have to appoint someone to rule here because you have to go back to the tower to finish your training because you aren't a full Aes Sedai.
And you didn't. Did you guys not even know that? Oh, man.
Because you've been lying.
Right.
And then this is where Elaine snaps back a bit and goes off, but I'm okay with it.
Again, she does a good job.
Yeah.
She does a good job.
Egwene, the Amerlin seat, the day she was raised, also raised me.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't know that, Duhara, but like, you suck and I rule.
Yeah, and there is a very logical explanation, and Elaine breaks it down. She breaks it down afterwards too, like to the others.
Bounces off of me and sticks to you.
Boom. Suck it, Duhara.
Yeah.
Now get out of here. Again.
Yeah. And then she's like, yeah, well, you still need me, and I'll let you figure that out.
Because you're stupid if you don't understand that, but
yeah,
take some
you're going to
time.
need me.
Now show me to my room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No.
No. Turns out, every single bed is full, and even if it wasn't, you don't get to stay here.
Yeah, it's like this
get out.
This castle is not open to you.
No, go find an inn, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's like the middle of the night. We haven't talked about this yet.
Oh,
it's literally
it's past your bedtime.
It's like 3 a.m, though.
How do you know it's 3 a.m?
Well, in my brain.
Okay.
The clock chimes 3 times.
Oh, did it?
And then it says there's at least 3 more hours until dawn.
Oh, does it say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 a.m. That would make sense. Okay. I wasn't paying attention to the chiming of the clocks.
Yeah, I was.
It is past your bedtime. It's past my bedtime.
Yeah, well, because she did try to go to sleep, and she couldn't, and then...
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then everyone's like, you should go to sleep. And she's like, no.
Not gonna do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, because even if she says, even though I'm really tired and I try to lie down and go to sleep, I can't. And I have to tell you...
Do you understand that?
Accurate pregnancy trope,
right. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. So now... Elaine tells one of her guards to escort Duhara to the gates, and then once Duhara's gone, Elaine looks to the kinswomen that are there still, Elise and Sumiko.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, how was that for you?
Right.
Do you believe what she was saying?
Did you like that? Was that good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that is a fair question. Like, hey, we have an Aes Sedai who should be able to tell the truth, unless, of course, the whole Black Aja thing, which we got. But anyways, like, she's telling the truth. And Elaine justifies it as in she believes it because she has to believe it, because if she didn't, then she would be like not accepting Lyda as the true Amerlin. So it's literally, it's your interpretation of the truth and events.
Right. And Sumeko's like, no, I trust and believe you.
Yeah. And also, you have your own Aes Sedai, Elaine, who are vouching that you're Aes Sedai.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we have Vandine, Morelli, Saritha, and Cariana.
Yeah, like we got real Aes Sedai here too that are vouching for Elaine.
Exactly. So. And so Elise does say now that thing you just said about how Duhara is Aes Sedai and she can't lie, and she clearly thinks you're not an Aes Sedai, so that's something worth thinking about, but I'm still with you.
Yeah, like we also know like half the rebels also don't really like the whole situation.
And Elaine thinks to herself, Sumeko clearly wants to go to the White Tower to become a Yellow Aja.
Yeah.
And if she admits that Elaine isn't a full Aes Sedai, then maybe her chances of getting to the White Tower, right? So,
yeah, which side do you want to be on? Okay,
yes.
here we go.
Okay, we agree with you, Elaine.
Yeah, we're cool. We're good now.
All right. So, before we move into our next sort of scene,
right,
or act, I don't even know.
Yeah, this is like the next segment that leads to the events.
That's right. Let's take a quick break.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna top up my drink, I think.
All right.
Okay, so we're back, and let's get into some of this good stuff.
Right. Okay. The reintroduction of Samuel Hark.
Okay, right. Who's the guy? The follower guy.
The follower guy.
The cut purse guy who's like really, really good at being
who
a
like
cut
kept
purse.
all the cut purses, purses that he cut in his apartment or whatever.
And I have to say, even the whole threatening
yeah.
here that we get about you better work with me or else the second you go out and cut a purse again, you're going to be hanged.
Yeah.
It's like he's going to go another 20 years without getting caught.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, like, why is he so uptight here?
Well, because
now we have description. Now we have someone who's going to watch out for what he's doing.
Also, last time, Elaine put the magical finder on him, and she channeled, and she's like, ooh, now I can always tell where you are, whatever, and he doesn't understand the power.
No.
So he literally thinks Elaine did something magical to him, so she always knows everything he's doing. And then she told him, like, you're going to get exiled to Baerlon,
I want
and I'm going to
that
give the
magic
description.
power. You know, when people are like, hey.
The magic power of lying? Yeah, you already have that power.
No,
you
idiot.
can just lie to people.
No, that's not what I mean.
That's what Elaine did, though.
I know, but that magic power that you just described,
yeah,
if that was real, I feel like that would be a cool one to have.
Yeah, but like also Elaine doesn't have that power.
I know that. I'm talking about like in our world. You know the game you play where you're like, if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
So finding people?
Yeah, I guess.
Like always know where someone is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's GPS, like that. That also exists, right?
Yeah, but like to also know what they're doing. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I'm still want teleportation.
Right.
That's still my main favorite superpower.
Sure.
But this one, I don't know. I've never thought about anything like that before, so it's funny.
Okay.
But I'm aware Elaine doesn't actually have the ability to do that.
I could wear like a little GoPro and you could always see what I'm doing all day. Be really boring.
I don't really want to watch you.
Like he hasn't left his office in 3 hours.
Yeah, not really cool. You can see what I'm doing.
He's drinking coffee again? Still more? Like, that's too much coffee.
Yeah, maybe not you, but like interesting people.
Hey now. Okay, now we're just hurting feelings for no reason.
My day is pretty interesting sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. What are we talking about?
Samuel Hark.
Oh, yeah.
He's got information and is probably... He was successful, probably, in his mission.
Oh, it sounds like he was extremely successful.
He was, and he was also not murdered. So
other single person who followed Mellar / David Hanlon was straight up murdered.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them we actually saw.
Yeah.
We were in David Hanlon's perspective and saw a murder.
Yep.
So this guy, Hark...
Good job.
Good. When I first started reading, it's like, Master Nori wants to see you, and he's got Hark with him. I'm like, who the heck is that? Now I know. Good follower, cut purse guy.
Right. Okay. So, he's back. He's here. And here's the news. He followed Mellar. He's been in the same house for 3 nights, including tonight. And it's the house on Full Moon Street.
Love that.
Ooh. Plus, he goes to a lot of like taverns to drink and gamble.
That doesn't matter as much.
Doesn't matter. It's the house.
It's
and then
the house.
Nori checked the tax records, basically. And we know that this house belongs to the Lady Cheyenne.
Right. Which is interesting. Like, why would she have a house under her own name?
because the reason she is the Lady Cheyenne is because she basically murdered the lady who is the real one and took her identity as like the only heir to the estate. Because this is Millie Skane.
Yes, I remember.
Who has
Millie
now like
Vanilli.
taken on the identity of the Lady Cheyenne.
Yes.
So she's using like a real identity who is a person.
Okay,
and noble.
but like to have a house in your name where a bunch of dark friend shady business is going on in all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. She could have like switched some stuff up, but
maybe.
You know.
Anyway, so Hark also saw that 2 Aes Sedai go there quite often. He doesn't know if they live there, but they go there all the time.
Yeah, weird situation. He overheard them.
Yes,
right?
He did. And he heard one of them say, and now, okay, I forgot this sentence when the stuff was going down at the end of this chapter, the first time that I read it.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, what the heck? This is so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, why are we going in and doing this when a bunch of other people are around? But then my second time through, I was like, well, it's pretty clear that Elaine thinks there are for sure only 2 of them.
Yeah.
And cannot think this can go wrong.
Yeah. And she has that
does
thought.
Not think this can go wrong.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we even had the counter argument from Saritha and Carrie Ann, who are like, well, not saying Hark is a liar, but like stuff could have happened. He could be wrong. There could be more people. They could have left.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff could happen between when he heard them.
She's eager. This is where the naivete and the overzealous.
She wants the win. She wants to do it.
She wants the win so bad.
She does. Yeah.
So impulsive, too.
Yeah.
Like, let's think about this for 2 seconds. They've been there quite a few times.
Well,
we don't have to go right this second.
This is the problem, too, and we'll get there.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get there. So let's get through this, then we'll get there, and I got some points to make.
Okay. So one of them says, a pity there are only 2 of us. Valian.
Yeah.
The way that Lady Cheyenne works us. And we've seen that. They're basically like the serving people there.
Yes. Yeah.
And it took him a minute to realize they were Aes Sedai. And then Elaine is really eager for more descriptions, like their accents and that kind of stuff. And she figures out that this is Marilyn Gomolfin, who likes stray cats.
Right, cat lady.
Was carrying a cat under her arm. And then Phalian Boda, 2 of the Black Aja sisters who fled the tower originally. Like, this is the original 13 Black Aja crew from Book 3.
Yes, the original ones. And it's kind of funny because Elaine is right about who they are.
Yeah.
And she is sort of right because when she hears this and that these are the Black Aja, she also has the thought like, oh, the Black Aja must have planted Mellar next to me.
Yeah.
And most likely to spy. It's like, obviously to spy on you.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy. Obviously he's spying on you.
And also like kill you if they need to.
And it's worse than she had feared. So she was suspicious, but this is like, oh my goodness, this is so much worse. It's just crazy. Obviously Mallory's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think that she always assumed he was a bit of a bad guy. Like, he might be a dark friend, or he might be just a really gross guy that we don't really like very much.
But it's like, either way, fire him.
Well, no kidding. But I think this is as bad as she could have feared because it's these Black Aja who know her.
Right.
Who know of her. This isn't just like random dark friendery.
Yeah.
Right? This is like
vendetta
dark friendery.
It's kind of funny though because she's actually wrong about this being like a Marilyn Gomolfin and Phalian.
Oh, 100% so wrong.
So it wasn't specifically the Black Aja who planted Mellar next to her.
She does make the right connections and she gets there in the wrong way.
A little bit off, but still right, but still wrong. So, anyways, hey, where's Mellar now?
Well, about to be arrested apparently.
Well, yeah, he's back because he's still a guy who lives in the palace here. So arrest him. That's the plan.
Yeah, bring as many guards as you need to take him down.
Yeah.
And then throw him in the cell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get him. That should be easy. Like, we should have Mellar. How are you feeling about Mellar right now? Because there's two things happening. One plot is we're gonna go get those Black Aja. The other people are gonna go get Mellar. Are we at least getting Mellar right now?
I'm not in love with this plan.
I need a prediction because there's the subplot of like, okay, he's not a channeler. There's nothing he can do. If we can overwhelm him, we can overwhelm him. Are we capturing David Hanlon right now?
That would be cool.
Yes or no? Yes or hard stance, come on.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes, but
gut check. Does that feel good?
No. Yes, I think that we're going to capture him, although I just wish that was the plan tonight.
Yeah.
The plan tonight was to go she could go with the guards people. She could go with the Aes Sedai. They can make sure that this happens using the power.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Throw him in a cell, lock him in there, do whatever they need to do with this verified dark friend, and then come up with like a very solid, reasonable plan to go in and infiltrate this house.
Yeah.
At a different time. Maybe we set up some more surveillance. Maybe we track them. You know what I mean?
Like, oh, yeah, there's options. There's options.
But every time I have an actual plan and options, it never actually goes through that way.
No. And again, that's just like the over-eager Elaine wants to go get them right now. Right now, we gotta go get them.
We gotta go have a win.
Yeah.
And it's like, she is just over-eager. That's a good word for it.
Yeah, I'd like to also assume that Duhara maybe threw her off her game a little bit here, made her a little bit angry and want to get some, get a win in her corner.
It's possible, but I'd also like to note that she is holding the power and has been for a long time.
Right.
And holding the power helps her feel more calm and at ease, because when she doesn't hold it, her emotions bounce around like a crazy person's.
Because pregnant, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that that's what Robert Jordan would like us to believe of her emotions, and that's why they're bouncing all around. But I choose to believe that yes, pregnancy, but also pregnancy while being a channeler.
And also Avienda's gone.
Also Avienda. Like, there's a lot of things happening. Plus her bond with Brigida. She has Brigida's emotions in her head as well as her own. So there's a lot of things happening. She's worried for Rand's safety, clearly, because she can feel him bouncing all around. Like, there's a lot of factors for her anxiety and for her emotional turmoil.
Sure. Yeah, I buy that. I like that.
But I think that Robert Jordan really is leaning a little too hard into the emotional bounce of a hormonal pregnant woman.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I don't love.
Elaine can be foolish like this when she's not pregnant.
100%.
We've seen it. We don't need her to be pregnant to make bad decisions.
I actually think that she's been doing almost better.
Yeah. except for this next little part, but usually, anyways.
Well, and because it actually wasn't mentioned this chapter, but she's so sure that she's going to be able to have these babies that she doesn't consider herself in danger.
Right.
For however many months that she has left in this pregnancy, she's like, Min said, I'm going to have healthy babies.
So we're good.
So no problem.
Don't worry about it.
And we talked about this last time we were with Elaine.
We did.
It's like, you can be in captivity. You can be unconscious. You can have a lot of things happen to you. And all of the people around you can die.
Right.
And you can still have healthy babies in the end of this.
Which we're seeing happening
right
now.
Oh, man, I actually kind of blocked that out of my memory for a minute. I kind of forgot that everyone died.
Right. Samuel Hark doesn't want to be here right now, so he's like, hey, so can I go? Like, I've done what you said. This is part of the deal. And she's like, nope, you're going to work for us now because you're good at what you do. Hey, Nori, you want someone to work for you? And he's like, yep.
Oh, Nori's like, heck yes, because you know that secret love-hate relationship I have?
Right.
Remember we talked about their secret affair?
Oh, yeah, Mistress Harford.
Because of their sexual tension?
There's so much sexual tension.
I love it. I love that. That's my favorite thing I ever came up with.
Anyways, okay, still on the table. On the table.
Not just on the table, it's happening.
Still on the table.
Still happens.
On the floor, in the bedroom, wherever.
Hell, everywhere.
Go Master Nori and Mistress Harford.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mostly in closets, I bet.
Okay.
Yeah. However, having this kind of spy finder guy is really her side of things. So Nori's like, ooh, yeah, I want to
That's so funny.
Encroach on her
just
territory.
Like undercutting her.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's this whole thing back and forth. Do you want to be employed by us or do you want to hang?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I've been dreaming of that fresh bare lawn air.
Love it.
Elaine's like, no,
you're
not going to go there.
Okay. There's more exciting things to come still. So we got to get past Samuel Hark.
Okay. So Elaine goes into her large sitting room to wait for everyone to show up. And she starts thinking about how pretty soon she'll have her hands on Malar and two Black Aja sisters, and questioning them might lead to more of their plans. And I am incredulous about this questioning Black Aja plan.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm having these traumatic flashbacks to questioning Black Aja in the Stone of Tear.
Oh, right, when it wasn't working.
It went so poorly.
Yeah.
And then in the end, those two Black Aja got their tongues nailed to doors.
But to be fair, they did give up a couple of plans that were maybe like old plans.
Yeah.
Well, there was the whole plan about like,
well, they
we're
said
gonna...
their one thing, and then they did.
Yeah.
They're like, give us more, and like there was no
like,
more.
we can't.
And it was just terrible. And I actually can't remember if Elaine was part of that. I think she was, right?
I feel like she was. I can't remember either. I think
because
sure
they
the
hadn't
three
split
of them, right?
up yet. Because
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, but it was in the Stone of Tear. It was like end of book 4, beginning of book 4.
Yeah, and Maureen was just kind of like, sure, go ahead. You can try.
And then they're like, tell us more. And they're like, what? There's no more. But anyway, so I know that's not going to go well, even if we do get them.
Yeah. So in the background, too, like, one of the undertones of this entire chapter is Elaine is still all about the whole figure out who this secret murderer is. And obviously we're going to get some answers to that, but she is super suspicious, and the whole time she's like, ooh, I'm going to get these Black Aja and Lady Shine, and maybe I'll get a third Black Aja sister tonight.
Ooh, okay.
So there are the undercurrents here.
Yeah, so Brigida comes in, and Elaine explains the whole plan, and obviously Brigida is like, this is the worst plan I've ever heard.
Stupid. And, terrible.
Like, at what point do we start listening to Brigida?
Never.
The seasoned hero of the Horn
/ warder / captain general of your army. Yeah.
At what point do we ever take her opinion into any sort of context?
I want you to take Brigida's opinions, roll them up into a tight little ball, and shove them up your butt.
Oh, nice.
That's what, there you go.
Put them in file G.
The garbage. The garbage can. That's where we put the memos from corporate.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that's where we put most of our kids' art. Like,
it's in the... honestly, most of it is just absolutely
file
terrible.
G. Just put it in
the
file
worst.
G.
Yeah.
Well, it's like literally 5 scribbles on a page. What am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
I don't need 18,000 of those. I don't.
You're going to keep the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a couple of them.
The couple.
And also... Why?
And all these little scraps of paper that you're drawing on.
Oh my god, so many scraps of paper.
At
Why? Why so many scraps of paper?
And then it's like, man, stop putting scraps of paper in your pockets because I'm not checking the pockets on every pair of pants to go into laundry.
Into the washing machine.
Oh man,
the washing machine.
Oh, it's just kids. Okay. Anyways, so that's how Brigida feels dealing with Elaine.
Let's listen to Brigida. That's my new motto.
Yeah, sure. Okay. That's not even that controversial. So this is my opinion here of this that I was going to say. So Brigida is obviously like, no, terrible plan. This is the worst, because we find out that Elaine's plan is that the 4 sisters, Elaine, Vandine, Saritha, Carrie-Anne, they're going to go into the house by themselves and they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So Brigida's like, no. And there's this like whole weird thing where Vandine comes in. She's like, what are you talking about? And then Elaine explains it. And then Carrie-Anne and Saritha come in and they're like, what are you talking about? And then Elaine explains it again.
Yeah,
she's
it
like,
goes on for a while.
Again.
Like, it's a pretty short chapter, and like most of it's like Elaine explaining her plan several times.
This really bad plan.
Yeah.
But this is the issue. So Brigida's like, no, terrible. But Vandine says, yes, good.
I know.
Good plan. And Elaine is so desperate to do this plan, and so is Vandine.
I know.
Vandine also just wants to catch...
Well, because Vandine just wants to find out what Black Aja killed her sister.
Exactly. So it's like the whole... Elaine was finding one person who would agree to her plan, and it's go time.
Yeah.
And she's using that to justify that this is a good plan. Even though the rest of them are like, no, bad.
Well, and even the whole like... let's go in together. Like, don't just go in by yourselves. Have, like, as much backup as you possibly can have. And Elaine's like, no. I don't think Elaine should get to just say no.
Yeah. It's bad. It's like, let's overwhelm them.
Yes.
And this is part of the problem, too, because the undertones that I was talking about, how Elaine is suspicious of Saritha and Carrie-Anne.
Yeah.
She specifically thinks this chapter...
several times. She actually thinks Saritha's the most suspicious.
She does, because there's also... Yeah, so there's reasons why.
I also thought that. We need to get into what I think in a little bit, but...
that's true.
Yeah.
But first off, we're going to think about what Elaine thinks, because she is suspicious of one or both of them. So it's like you're going to go and try and ambush 2 Black Aja sisters
with two
who you don't trust.
Yeah.
And one who you do trust, but is like on a vengeance mission.
And also probably isn't eating.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a bad plan.
Yeah, I didn't think about that part of it.
Yeah. It's like she has that thought herself. Like, why would you... Like, I get that you're linking because you're going to go do in pairs.
Yeah, she's like, aha, aha, we link with them, and then they can't do anything about
except stab you or
Exactly.
do what Carrie Ann does in a second and make a noise when they're going up the stairs.
Yeah. Oh, did she do that? Does she
Oh
do
yeah,
that?
she does do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I missed that. You'll have to read
I'll
it
point
to
it
me.
out. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Back it up. Here we go.
Yeah, back it
Elaine
up,
finally,
back it up.
she explains the plan to everybody.
Yep.
Saritha and Carrie Ann are also like, nope.
Carrie Ann agrees it's too dangerous.
Yeah. Well, also, because that makes sense, because we know that Carrie Ann's Black Aja.
Yeah,
she's like, no, bad idea. But also, bad idea. Like, this is a bad idea.
Just a bad idea. And then the only one who's actually making any sense is the one we learned. It's the Black Aja.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, Elaine, you told us that these sisters stole a bunch of dangerous terangrial from the tower, and I don't want to sneak up on anyone who might have a bale fire hose.
Yeah, like, this is such a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Like,
and
I
Elaine's
agree
like,
with the
no,
Black
we're
Aja
doing the
sister.
plan. We're doing the plan. And everybody's like, okay, well, I guess we're just going to freaking do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of being like, no.
Yeah.
I'm not going.
Just don't. So Brigida has insisted on 50 guardswomen who are going to wait in the street.
Yeah.
Good
They're
place
they're
for
backup.
them. Yeah. And then it's time to start heading through the city. So we're winding through the streets in a big entourage.
Yeah, and then we get there.
And then we finally get there.
It's like 2 pages.
Yep.
But it's like we get there.
Mm-hmm. Did you know that Hark has trouble riding a horse?
You know what?
I do now.
You should know that.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay, so this is where Hark is like, okay, it's just over there. And then Vandine gets her warder, Jam, to go check it out. And he just walks super casually across the street to do some investigating.
Because if you got to go casual like, because if you go too sneaky like, then people are like, ooh, he's sneaking. But if you're like all super casual, he's like, oh, he's just casual.
Just casual.
You get it.
Got it.
Easy.
So the house is all dark except for a couple lights upstairs. And he also kills...
Nope. He ties him up. He's the drunk guy.
I thought he kills him too.
No. He's like, he's so drunk that he didn't
Tied
wake
him
up.
up.
Yeah.
Trust him up.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought he killed him.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't kill him.
I'm pretty sure he's like, I took care of him.
Because he tied him up. He's like, he was so drunk he didn't wake up while I was tying him up.
Oh, I thought he was dead.
You know what? He could be. I was wrong about that ghost thing that one time, so.
What ghost thing?
Well, like way back, like there was one time with the ghosts, I didn't realize they were ghosts. In the whole ghost thing.
Oh, yes.
There was the one set of ghosts I didn't realize were ghosts. So he might have killed them.
Okay, let's go to the book.
Yeah, okay, so I don't think that he killed them. So it says, there's a dangerous fellow, big sleeping fellow in the barn up in the loft, big enough to scare any burglar, but he's so drunk he didn't wake up while I was tying him up. And then Vandine raises a questioning eyebrow. I thought I'd better be safe. Drunks sometimes wake when you least expect. You wouldn't want him seeing you go in and start making noise.
And she nodded in approval. I thought she was like nodding like...
Oh, yeah, you took care of him.
Yeah, you took care of him.
But like, why would you tie him up if you're just going to kill him?
I think I missed the tying him up part.
Yeah.
And just saw like, I took like care of him part. I thought I'd better be safe. Drunks wake up.
And I'll say, like, and it makes more sense.
Oh, we killed him so that he can't wake up.
He'll never wake up again.
Exactly.
Wink, wink.
And then she nods in approval. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
I like
fine.
your interpretation better because that would make more sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it's like, why are we,
Yeah.
Okay, I guess so.
Because even if you're tied up, like, oh, you can't make noise now?
Dude's just like super drunk though. I don't know.
Okay, weird.
Anyways,
Moving
he's
on.
either dead or he's not.
I don't think he is.
That's the big guy.
I don't
right?
think he is now that we've read through that, but
Yeah.
I really actually came in here tonight thinking that guy was dead.
Fair.
So.
Anyways, doesn't matter. He doesn't
It's
really
go
play a part
time.
here. So
It's go time.
Right.
And Elaine argues with Brigida about whether or not Brigida can come up with us again.
Can't. Right.
So we have Saritha, Vandine, Carina.
Carrie-Anne.
Cariana. Actually, I have in my notes.
Sure.
And Elaine going in. And then this is where going to my notes is interesting. Because I have from Crossroads of Twilight, Chapter 11.
Okay.
Aes Sedai in Caemlyn with Elaine. So I have the Aes Sedai name, and then a little note about each Aes Sedai.
Okay, and this is where it went wrong,
And then
right?
at the very top, when we started recording, I was like, Kay, can you tell me something? Because in this moment where Elaine wants to link with someone, she links with Saritha,
yep.
And then Vandine links with Cariana. One of either Saritha or Cariana protests, but it's the one who's the brown Terran.
Yeah, so that's
the brown
Saritha.
Aja Terran protests.
Yeah.
why do we have to link? That's stupid. And Elaine says, no, we're doing it anyway. And so I didn't know of Saritha and Cariana who was brown. So I went to my notes very confused because, so here's what my notes say.
Okay.
Vandine, and her note is 2 novices who were kin. So those are the novices who are like following her around.
Okay.
That I was suspicious of.
Yeah.
And if I go to my suspicious list, which last chapter I also referenced because of Aram several times.
Okay.
I also have Kirstian and Zarya.
Yeah.
And then in brackets, Adelius's murder.
Yeah.
I really...
You were really...
I really didn't want it to be as obvious as Black Aja.
Sure, yeah, I get that.
I wanted it to be something different and fun, you know? I looked too hard.
You worked really hard for that. Ugh. And even Elaine was narrowing it down. She's like, it's definitely one of these 2 Aes Sedai.
And I was like, what if it's not?
And you're like, way off, Elaine.
Should I write my own murder mystery?
Maybe. Everyone will be confused.
I would never sleep again.
Okay.
I can't do that. Anyway, so then I have Morel, who's not here. Where did Morel go? Did she leave?
She left. With Tala'an.
Oh, she left.
They left Camelin.
Okay, because I have her. She's 100 years old, and she's a brown with wide eyes. But then you corrected me tonight and said, nope, Morel is a green.
Wait, do you mean Morel or Marililla? Those are 2 different people.
Marililla.
So Morel is the green. Marililla
is brown.
Is the gray. She was the one who was sent to Abu Dar originally with the negotiations thing.
So I'm a little bit concerned for literally all of my notes ever.
Oh no.
But this could have just been a one-time thing where I mixed up. So I had Merlilla as a brown, but she's a gray.
She's gray, yeah.
Okay.
And she's not here.
Okay, and I have Cariana. Her notes say hates Wilders and is a green.
That's right.
That's correct.
She does hate Wilders and she is green.
Okay, but then I have Saritha, and in brackets I say defends Vandine.
Yep.
And is a gray.
Okay, no.
She's brown.
She's brown.
Oh, so what happened here is I got Merlilla and Saritha mixed up.
Okay.
Because when it says the brown protested, I was like, I don't have a brown who's here. So that was confusing. Okay.
So that's why Elaine's grumbling too. She's like, ooh, is she, now am I more suspicious of Saritha because she's doing grumbling right now?
Okay, because I wrote for Saritha sucking up to Millar.
Yep. Saritha did like Millar,
and is more suspicious than before.
Yes.
So then at some point, probably in that chapter of Crossroads of the Twilight, Saritha also made the suspicious list.
Yeah. Because
for being a shifty Aes Sedai.
Because she was like, she kind of had a thing for Doyle and Malar.
Now, other than Karina hating Wilders, do we have any other...
I mean, so technically, the fact that she definitely hates Wilders, she's also the one, remember when they went to the farm originally, and then she was the Aes Sedai who didn't have her hood up all the way properly, and then made everybody scatter like chickens.
I remember that.
And I pointed out, I was like,
Anthill, actually.
Okay, that's what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was her. And then specifically in this chapter too, so when they're creeping up the stairs, Carrie-Anne lets out a big sigh. She goes, ah.
Yeah.
And then everyone like looks at her and she's like, oops, my bad, sorry. Yeah, so it's like there are little tiny subtle things.
But like in these chapters leading up to it.
No. Not enough. So this is actually funny. There was a question posed to Robert Jordan in an interview that was like, hey, do we have enough information to figure out who this secret Black Saja sister is? And RJ said, basically, no, but I'm going to reveal it in Knife of Dreams.
Okay.
So he did say that.
Yeah.
And then later it's like, okay, it was
clearly
Carrie-Anne.
Did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just would have liked for it to have been not a Black sister.
I know, yeah.
I think that would have been the ultimate red heron in this series.
Yeah, I get that too.
I would have really, really liked that.
Yeah, and I mean, that kind of leads to the whole Adelius and Ispan murder, and the whole, who would come in and why would they be so surprised, etc. And, you know, that's what it is.
It is. Okay, but we're not even there yet.
No, we're not.
So let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And then get into some action.
For sure. Here we go, because it's almost go time.
Okay, so we're back, and now it really is go time. So we talked a little bit about this before, but Elaine and Saritha are going to link with Elaine controlling the flow, and Vandine and Cariana are going to link with Vandine controlling the flow.
Yeah, because the two sisters that Elaine doesn't trust now won't have control of the power.
Okay.
It's like terrible plan always.
Right. So they enter this house that we've been in before.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And they're creeping through the house. Someone sighs. That's that whole thing you were talking about.
Yeah.
They creep up the stairs to where the light is coming from. And once they get up high enough, Elaine can start hearing the voices of people talking upstairs.
Yeah. And don't forget, Elaine has prepared shields and weaves, and she's inverted her weaves, and she's hidden her ability to channel. And apparently Vandine's done the same too.
Yeah. I mean, like, they're doing about as much as they can at this point with zero backup.
Yeah. It's a bad, like they're doing what they should, but it's still a bad plan.
Right.
That's the issue, is the plan is bad.
So bad. Because at one point she tells Brigida, if anything goes bad, I'll scream so loud that you'll be able to come running in 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's like, that's not how it works.
Well, that's how I felt about Ram's plan.
Right.
Where if we light flares...
I'll shoot a firework off in the sky and you'll see the flare. And like,
then you
okay.
can travel to us and come help us. And it's like, with these types of situations, in 5 seconds flat, the conflict's over.
Yeah. We don't have a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes for you to like get going.
Yeah.
It's right now. It's who's in the room is what counts.
Yeah.
So anyways, plan's bad.
Okay.
Here we go.
So Elaine moves to the door and she sees only one of the women sitting and figures that this must be the Lady Cheyenne, and the other two are standing and facing her. So Cheyenne sees Elaine and her eyes kind of go wide, and Elaine throws shields onto the Black Aja and wrap them up in air.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Elaine is trying to keep her eyes on Saritha and Vandine.
Yeah.
And Cariana. So
there's the weird thing too, because Saritha like is almost trying to back out of the room, and Elaine's like, "Oh, is she trying to get away, or is she just trying to make room for me?" It's like none of it, and you shouldn't have like brought them into this.
Well, because I think that she was thinking 2 birds, 1 stone.
That is what she's thinking. She wants to win. She wants to get everybody all in one go, but it's a bad plan.
Yeah.
Go get all of the channelers.
Well, I think that she didn't want to give either Karina or Saritha, or both, the opportunity to warn the Black Aja to get out.
Which is fair.
I think that she was like, let's act swiftly so that there is no time for warning. Because there's no way she can tell her plan to these Aes Sedai and then not have it go through immediately.
Yeah.
Because she does suspect one of them of being Black Aja.
Yeah.
Which is fair. But she also needed to like come up with a plan with not just her own brain at this moment.
Right.
Like she needed support and help.
But if you had time to collect 50 guardswomen to come on this trip and also execute the Doyle and Mellor arrest plan, you could be like, hey, let's go get every single channeler that we have in the city. I need you guys for like 45 minutes tops.
Yeah.
And we're going to just bum rush the house.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get them all. We'll get them. Like, we can do that.
Yeah.
There's
just
options.
Immobilize everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do have some questions about where these others come from.
Well, okay, they're Black Aja.
No, I'm aware.
Yeah.
I know who they are.
Okay, we'll get there. Okay. So, first off, to be fair, Elaine and her crew, they do seem to surprise Cheyenne. Like, this was...
Oh, yeah.
This was a sneak attack.
Yeah, it was good ambush.
It worked.
It worked.
That part of it worked.
All
the
of
rest
it works,
of it's terrible.
actually. All of it works.
Up until the point where...
Well, no, here's the thing. So... Everybody's shielded, wrapped up in air. Elaine is like, we did it, cool. And then Cheyenne is like, hey, Elaine, I recognize you as the daughter heir, but that doesn't give you any right to come into my home. And then Elaine says, straight to jail.
Arrested, you're arrested.
Arrested.
And she's like, what? And she's like, dark friends, Black Aja.
And then things go horribly wrong.
Because the Black Aja, they brought a phaser from Star Trek to a channeling fight. They bring a stun gun.
Yeah.
From the Age of Legends. It's like, set your phasers to stun situation.
Uh-huh.
They have a freaking monologue about like, what's that? Oh, it's a phaser. You can set it to stun or you can set it to kill.
Yeah.
It's cool. And one of the Black Aja sisters like, I can kill people. And she's like, yeah, but not with this gun.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Okay, so Elaine feels sparks dancing all over her from head to toe, and she twitches helplessly, and it is literally
She's been phasered. Yeah.
Lasered.
Tasered.
Blazered.
She got tasered.
It's tasered. It's a taser gun.
It's a taser gun.
It's a magic taser.
The issue is that they're like, you can set it to stun or kill. It's just so funny.
I know. Okay, this isn't actually that funny. So,
I mean, not for them.
No, because they're all twitching and can
Yeah.
barely hold themselves up, and they're like holding on to each other and stumbling, and
Yeah, they all
it's a
got...
whole thing. So obviously they let go of the power and the shields lift. Hey, immediately tie those bad boys off. We know how to do that.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, never mind.
How about you go shut up about it?
How about more things that make sense?
Right.
No? Okay, let's go back to the things that don't. So, Phalion and Marilyn both look startled and then quickly embrace the source.
Right.
And then Elaine feels the shield on herself.
Yeah.
And then 4 more women into the room. And so we know these ones. And the ones I know are Tamail and Chesmal.
Okay. Yeah.
Because Chesmal's the yellow who kills people with the power.
Yep.
And Tamila... Hot Tamale, I remember.
She's the torturer one.
Yeah, the torturer one.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have Asni.
Yep.
And Eldrith. And Eldrith feels new to me.
It's not.
I know, but
we just don't know much about them.
It just feels more
They never
new
really
than the
did
others.
anything cool. Chesmal had a whole bunch of monologues about her interactions with, like, killing and torturing the former Amerlins.
Yes.
That's the thing that I recapped at the beginning of this chapter. And then Tamila is the torturer one. We've heard about her too, but the other two are like the lesser ones who we really don't get to hear anything cool
No,
about,
and I kind of remember Asni, but then Eldrith for sure never heard that name before.
Yeah, they've been around, but they're not like super important.
Okay, so the 4 of them ask Phalion and Marilyn, like, what took you so long to channel?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit, they were hiding their weaves
Crazy.
without a crazy terangrial, because we were hiding our weaves, but we had a terangrial for that.
But it's like, this is cool, so like we got to learn about this.
We got to learn that new trick from them.
And then this is the monologue about like, ooh, what's that fancy little gift from Moghedian that we have? It's the little phaser stun gun taser guy.
Yeah.
And they go off on a little rant about how it works and all that. So it's pretty funny. But...
yeah, because they were the ones who were there with the whole capture of Leandrin.
Yeah, exactly. And just for the record, even if they didn't have the stun gun, the 4 sisters could have overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, too. So
completely.
It's just...
So...
it's not good.
Are we assuming they were in the house already?
Either it was a... well, okay, because so Cheyenne says specifically, like, hey, that was pretty fortunate that you came
rescue,
in here.
Yeah.
But also it seems like this was planned because they come in and say, well, Elaine's the only one we're actually here for. So it seems like they've been keeping
watching.
Tabs.
Yeah, because we've known about Aes Sedai coming into the city, staying in the city, and whatever, but it doesn't seem like Phalion and Marilyn know that these ones are here.
But that's because they're at the lowest of the low on the ring of, like, they're literally servants for a non-channeler for, like, Lady Cheyenne.
Yeah.
And they're being abused because they're the worst right now. So they are not cued into anything that's happening for Dark Friends plans. So it seems like there's a subplot going on.
Okay.
And they've been...
so are we assuming that these 4 channelers
yeah.
entered the house after they entered the house?
Maybe, or they were hiding or watching or came from a different entrance. Because, like...
I know.
We had one warder going to check it out.
50 bodyguards.
Yeah.
And warders.
Sure.
Watching this house. We didn't watch it from all sides?
No, but we also know traveling's a thing. Like, a lot of things could happen right now.
Traveling?
They could have, like, just traveled into the house. That's how magic works.
I don't know if these ones know traveling.
We don't know that they don't know it.
I don't think they know it.
I'm just saying, there's options here. They
got a literal, like, handgun from Moghedian, and they're like, look how cool this is.
Yeah, I mean, that is pretty cool.
Like, they wouldn't be like...
traveling is old news. Stun guns are all the rage right now. Everyone knows that.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just saying, there's options here, or it's a disaster, and all the guards outside are either dead or dying.
Exactly. Although, I do think that although Elaine is caught up in her own issues, but she would feel Brigida.
Yeah, and plus they're like, oh, now that these Aes Sedai, after they kill them. I don't think that
they're all dead outside.
I also don't think so, but there's options. They could be waiting. Like,
I'm just like, there were so many other options here, and it just is so frustrating.
Yeah.
that at this point in the series, we're still dealing with this like frustrating ass bullshit. You know,
if you're gonna be, but like
like Black Aja Hunters from book 3.
Yeah,
you know, Black Aja Hunters, Elaine, Nynaeve, and Egwene.
Sure.
From book 3, green, new to the world, new to everyone, naive as fuck.
Yeah, but we're literally like 12 months later here. We're not that.
Yeah, but
much more
experience-wise, we have been through and seen and experienced so much. Like, experience is the best teacher. We're supposed to learn from our mistakes. We've been through so many mistakes in that time. Maybe only 12 months, if
Sure.
I'm going to believe you. We have to have learned something more.
You want them to have learned something.
This feels exactly the same. And at one point, somebody says, and I don't even remember who it was, walking into that house without like a real plan will basically be like putting our necks in the trap and springing it ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's like exactly what fucking happens.
Same thing.
It's exactly what happens.
Yep.
So that's annoying.
Okay. Anyways, we're not done yet here. So we do have to talk about the relationship between Cheyenne and these Black Aja sisters, because Cheyenne speaks up and she's like, hey, thanks for the rescue. That's cool. And right now, Cheyenne is like sitting pretty good. She's been rising through the ranks. She's got a relationship with Moradin, of all people.
Well, that's because she's like, hey, did Moradin send you guys here for us?
Yeah. And then the Black Aja sisters are like, smack, no, shut up about it or we're going to kill you too.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a dynamic we don't really understand here.
Yes.
And then this is where Tamila says Elaine's the only one we need.
Yep. And then Marilyn tells them that if they're going to kill the others, at least spare Cariana. She's one of us.
Boom, mic drop. There we go.
And then that's when Vandine murmurs, a gift from Adelius. And then she stabs Vandine under the chest bone.
Love it.
With her knife and kills her. You
know what? And I like it because this is what Vandine wanted. And it's a little bit of solitude for her getting revenge on the murder of Adelius.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She gets it.
She gets it.
And I'm officially wrong.
Yeah, you are. You were super wrong. I'm sorry. Yeah, you tried hard, and I liked your opinions on it.
Yeah.
I did like it.
I thought what I thought was way better than this.
I thought it was clever.
It was,
that was good.
Creative, right?
Yeah,
I was like, no, I don't want to believe exactly what they want me to believe.
Yeah.
I'm going to come up with my own.
And like, no way is Elaine getting this right because she's wrong with so many things.
I feel like it had logic to it too.
Yeah, it was medium. It was like 7 out of 10 for that.
No, there was some logic there. Like if the new novices were bringing tea to the place where they died.
I get that.
And then no one would suspect them.
So we got to pour out a couple of shots here for people because
so we have Cariana dead.
Karen dies. We're not.
And then Chesmel immediately murders Vandine by melting her bones.
Basically melting her bones. Yep. It's as if she melted her bones.
Yeah.
But anyways, Vandine dies.
And then same with Saritha.
Yeah. Which is sad because like Saritha didn't get any kills or nothing here. So
she was just caught up in it.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Chesmel says their warders will be coming now. So a little more killing to do.
Yeah.
And Elaine thinks to herself, oh, I wish I could tell Brigida to run. Run, Brigida, run. Yeah.
And then I just started running. Yeah.
So, shoot.
Yeah, this is bad.
Elaine's got herself in quite the predicament.
Well, here's the thing. Just when you think the kidnapping situation is over, you get another kidnapping situation.
Oh, like the Fail?
The Fail thing literally
well,
just ended.
No, I wouldn't say this is a kidnapping situation.
Oh, what is it? Because they're like, oh, we're here to kidnap Elaine.
I'm aware.
Okay.
I'm aware.
I just want to make sure you're aware.
With Fail, there was a physical... We got you, and you're literally over. No, we're literally over our shoulder.
Okay.
Dragging her out of this place.
Sure.
And Elaine is still in a house where these Black Aja sisters are.
That's
right?
True.
Like she hasn't been kidnapped yet. They want to kidnap her.
Sure.
The plan has gone awry. It's gone poorly, but we still have Brigida Silverbow and 50 guards women
against 6 Black Aja.
Yeah.
So we got the 4 and
catch
then 2.
Catch them off guard. We know and other warders too, right? So we know that Vandine's warder, JM, and a couple other...
He's like 100 years old, man.
Yeah. He's gonna go until he's dead, though, you know?
That's as soon as he steps into the room. They're channelers against non-channelers. It's not a competition. One Aes Sedai should technically be able to take out 50 guards.
Yeah, but if if the warders come in or whatever and they kill them, we also have just bows.
You shoot, yeah.
Shoot them.
Bows are the most effective inside houses. We all know that. That's where they, you know what? You might be like open battlefield. That's where they, no. The house is where the bow is the most effective.
Here's the thing.
Sure.
We know that channelers never expect frying pans to the head.
That's true.
So,
where's Mistress Luhan?
Exactly.
Bong.
That's what I'm saying.
Bong.
Okay, my point is not all hope is lost. So I'm not counting Elaine kidnapped until she's physically kidnapped.
You're more optimistic than you usually are.
I have to be at this point.
Do you have to be? Because, like, oftentimes you are
I really
are
feel like
not.
I have to be.
And you're like, I don't have to be.
I gotta be.
Okay.
Because this feels so bad. This is terrible.
Okay. Can I give you some really big optimism?
Yeah.
I'm going to let you read 2 chapters.
No way.
Heck yeah.
Finally.
2 chapters.
We're here, guys.
We made it to the end.
We did it.
Yeah. Okay.
32, 33.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. That's really good news.
The bar is so low.
Oh my God. I knew it was coming, but I didn't know now.
Okay.
Oh, that feels good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for 2 chapters. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes. Let's find out why this book is your favorite book. Honestly. Like, I'm still waiting to find out.
Well, that's rude.
Well,
there's a lot of really big events that happen in this book so far.
I wish you didn't make me read it this way.
Yeah? Okay.
This is your fault.
Yeah, that's fair.
I blame you.
Yeah.
You're to blame. It's you. You're the problem. It's you.
Right.
That's for my Swifties.
Is that a Taylor Swift thing?
Yeah,
okay.
It is.
Okay.
Rude. So rude.
That...
Okay. I'm going to go read. I got to come down
process.
a little
yeah.
from this, but we're not out till we're out.
No, and I need a little bit like of a, I don't know if I want to call it a prediction, but where do we go from here?
Okay.
What is Brigida? Because Elaine's like, run, Brigida, run.
Brigida will not run away. No.
Brigida, literally, there's no way that she can come in and kill 6 Black Aja sisters. Like, that's not, like, she can't just come in here, man. Like, that's not an option.
She might try.
And
I don't know.
Die.
Whatever Brigida's plan is, I'm going to say is going to be a good one.
Okay. Well, you know.
That's my prediction.
Okay.
Because Elaine's are bad, Brigida's are good. Elaine should listen to Brigida's more.
Boom. Done.
That's it.
Like it.
That's
okay.
all I have to say.
All right.
And I'm going to go read 2 chapters. Okay. So before you go ahead and come up with a sleep-deprived, harebrained, half-thought-out, excited, desperate plan that really backfires, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Well, that's it for us tonight. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. The Wheel Weaves is hosted and edited by Dani and Brett and produced by Dani and Brett with Passion Socks, Cody Fouts, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Megan Smiley, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Lance Barden, Charlie Haz, Adam, Marta Thier, Michelle Forbes, MKM, Antoine Benoit, Lawrence Bradley, Eric Reed, Colby T, and Gabby Young. With music by Audionautics. Be sure to check out our Patreon page if you're interested in supporting us on the podcast. We'd love to send you some Patreon exclusive merchandise as a thank you. Plus, you'll gain access to our episodes earlier than everyone else. And at the time of recording, we have over 45 bonus episodes for your listening pleasure. Find all that and more at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and information like how to send us shot glasses, how to join the Discord, or how to get in touch with us, visit thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, please be sure to give us a 5-star review because it really does make a really huge difference in helping other people find us. And tell a friend, Riyadh, because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks so much for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.